course she does. Well, let's go to the macro scale. The government has the right to arrest you, torture you, and kill you because Mr. Yu says so. Wrong. They don't. You have the right to get out of an abusive relationship with your government. Bing! Same thing. Because either you both have the right to beat your wife or you don't. You can't have it both ways. So it's wrong. And the government wants the right to beat you too. Double header for them. So the woman's in her home and the dysfunctional husband's standing at the door with an axe and she's trying to get away and he cut the phone lines and he's advancing on her and he's going to kill her. But she's Sarah Palin and she's got that concealed carry 45 ACP. Bop, bop, bop. Justifiable use of force. Nothing wrong with it. She had the right to get out of that relationship. She was being abused. There's Joe Citizen. He used to be an army guy maybe. He's got a large non-concealable 50 caliber belt-fed Browning machine gun. 10,000 stormtroopers are lined up in the street. They want to take him to a concentration camp, rape his daughter, burn his house to the ground, and steal all his money. He has a right to get out of a dysfunctional, abusive relationship. Would that be a justifiable use of force? I think so. It's probably how they built America, because the king used to do that, right? Back in 1776. So either it's right to beat your wife or it's wrong, and I'm saying it's wrong. And if the government's doing it, that don't make it right. It makes it double wrong, whether Mr. Yu thinks so or not. But then I wasn't pre-programmed at his law school. And what are some of these schools? As I refer to that classic book I told you about, The Imperial Cruise, A Secret History of Empire and War, I just read a little part. I scraped the vomit off so I can still use it. As I'm going back to 1905, and a certain Franklin Delano Roosevelt is getting married to Eleanor. The Roosevelt's family's asking, how can this turkey, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, support Eleanor to the high standard that she's accustomed? We're the super elite rich. No worries, they say. Warren Delano, his grandfather, is an opium dealer, and a very rich opium dealer. So when he dies, he's going to leave all his money to his daughter, Sarah. She has only one son, Franklin, and he'll inherit a king's ransom in opium money. No problem. Then we get to some of the other major power families in the United States. The Delanos were not alone. Many of New England's great families made their fortunes dealing drugs in China. The Cabot family of Boston endowed Harvard with opium money, while Yale's famous Skull and Bones Society was founded by the biggest American opium dealers of them all, the Russell family. The most famous landmark on Columbia University campus is the Low Memorial Library, which honors Abiel Low, a New York boy who made it big in the Pearl River Delta and bankrolled the first cable across the Atlantic. Princeton University's first big benefactor, John Green, sold opium in the Pearl River Delta with Warren Delano. The list goes on and on. Boston's John Murray Forbes opium profits financed the career of transcendentalist Ralph Waldo Emerson and bankrolled the Bell Telephone Company. Thomas Perkins founded the first commercial railroad and funded the Boston Athenaeum. These wealthy and powerful drug-dealing families combined to create dynasties. So you see, there's the fruit of the poison tree. And I remember when I was on the Power Hour with Joyce, she kept saying, well, why does this group of professionals, like the pediatrics, or maybe it's the engineers, or the architects, or big stream medicine supporting the new drug dealers, big pharma, why did they all walk lockstep in that? Because they went to the schools that were founded by the 666 families, the opium dealers, the drug families. Nothing's changed. You're sending your kids to some rat hole where they're going to be indoctrinated and turned away from anything decent and proper. That's why we're in the trouble we're in, because we get in trouble, we go to some of these schools looking for relief. There's a waste of time. And quickly, I guess, if we can zoom in on the screen there, Blue. Good stuff. We found a very suspicious ship in North Vancouver that just doesn't exist, really. The DGDDG, or GD, whatever it is. And it just came up. It had 3 numbers to it. It's like you have a car that has a different VIN number from the license plate from the taxi cab license or something. They're registered to 3 different vehicles. So this ship has an IMO number 1234567, an MMSI number 2222222. That works out to 666, by the way. Has no real history. The 2222222 number comes up to this ship, the nav stack, which happens to be on a river in Oregon near Portland. Has a big crane on it too. So if I was going to drop a crate that the Norwegian Star had and just kind of stick it down near a fault line, that'd be a handy little ship to have. Then the other number is the 1234567, which comes up to a Chinese ship, the He Yun, Music of the Seas. It's a yacht. Sometimes it's around Richmond, BC. That could be where that little dot was on the map. And its call sign, the last time it ever came surfaced again, was in Denmark for some strange reason in 2008. So are these the boys that are going to play with the crate in the false flag operation, the last part that's done? Because it's coming up soon. The Olympics are almost over. They got to do it or get off the pot. And hopefully they're not going to do it here. If you've seen the Canadian press today, this is important. There's our Olympians there with the old devil horns. That's the Montreal Gazette. And there's a little smaller version there in the National Socialist Post. And that's something we didn't have time for last week, was our good friend President Obama. Double devil horns with the sun coming over, casting a big thing there. And you go to the heavy metal Satan pointers or something, they show you all the different variations and what they mean and how and all that sort of thing if you need that translated into basic 666 English. But that's quite the thing there, where why for whatever reason is this cue being given to our country in the world that they love you, Satan. Is something coming down the happy trail? But anyway, as I was looking at that ship, DGDDG or whatever it is, it just disappeared. So I guess Big Brother was watching, and he didn't like what he was looking at. The computer went a little funny. Actually, it was even funny when I was on the power hour, and as soon as I started to talk about the crate, we went off the air for about 60 seconds. Imagine that. But they got their backup systems all set up. They're very good that way nowadays. We know we deal with controversial issues, and sometimes the 666 boys don't like us talking about that kind of stuff. But you know what? Sucks to be you, because, like we said at the beginning, talking about the Blues Brothers, we're on a mission from God, not 666. How we doing for time, Blue? We're down to the wire? Okay, so it's getting time to say goodbye and round up and head for the exits. We appreciate you for coming by and listening. Spread the show far and wide. That helps change the paradigm so we don't have to fall victim to that secret Masonic plot we talked about from 2005. I don't think you'd like to go up in thermal nuclear warfare or any other kind of stuff they have planned for us. So listen tight and do what you can. Spread the word. Tell everybody about these conspiracy shows in Toronto like our friend Michael Posner did, because the next one's getting ready. They've got their weapons of mass destruction all prepared. Lenny's still suffering from that super cold, I guess, but he still loves you and he'll still do his best. And we appreciate you for listening. And don't forget, next week, same that time, same that channel. And don't forget to tune in to Channel 15 UHF Saturday night after midnight, because we're going to play there for a little while too. Good night.